just give me a thumbs up if you can hear my voice. Fantastic. All right, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Porter Brannon, and I'd like to welcome you to the Virtual College Exploration for all North Carolina and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and ScribeScan, also known as CACRAO. Thank you for joining us today. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You may use the Q&A button that's located at the bottom of your screen to type in your questions to our presenters at any time, and we'll take those questions and you'll hear live answers to your questions. Your camera and your microphones have been turned off so the panelists cannot see you or hear you. And this is just one of many sessions that are happening as part of the transfer tour. So be sure to check the schedule out at CACRAO.org. That's CACRAO.org. And it's the same place that you would have registered for this workshop today. The presentation is also being recorded, and it should be available within 1 week at that same website, CACRAO.org, which is CACRAO.org. And now, without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it over to our fabulous presenters today. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Brannon. We are so excited to be here to represent our session here today. And we're going to be sharing a little bit about the advantages of transferring to universities in Florida. And we have a great group of schools that are joining me here today. Again, we're so excited to share a little bit about our 3 schools today, and then also share a little bit about some of the advantages of looking to transfer to universities in Florida. Would like to open it up to our group to introduce themselves. And Robin, I'll go ahead and I'll start with you here today to share a little bit about you and Florida Tech.
All right. Hi, I'm Robin. I'm Associate Director of Transfer Admission here at Florida Tech. So I work with all of our out-of-state transfer students. So there's my information if you do have any questions. A quick little fun fact about Florida Tech is that we have 3 astronauts on staff for our faculty.
Wendy, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wendy Lind, and I'm the Associate Director of Admissions here at Lynn. I've been here about 3 years, but I've been in higher education a little over 20 years. So I'm used to working with students at Lynn. I primarily work with transfer students in Palm Beach County and then North and South Carolina, and then everything west of the United States, pretty much. So I'm thrilled to be here today. So a little fun fact about Lynn that a lot of people don't know is that our president, Kevin Ross, actually is in a rock band also, which I always find interesting. So it makes for a good conversation in the dining hall. So looking forward to the presentation. Thank you.
Those are neat, fun facts about the schools that's there. And just to introduce myself, my name is Joe Madigan. I serve as the Director of Recruitment Outreach at Florida Southern College in beautiful Lakeland, Florida. My primary role is working with our transfer students that are from the United States and looking to transfer to Florida Southern College from the United States. I also work with our first-year students that are looking to enter Florida Southern College for the spring, or maybe that first semester transfer student. A fun fact about Florida Southern College is that we were actually rated previously as the #1 most beautiful campus in America for 2 consecutive years because of our architecture. We're a National Historic Landmark for our architecture on campus, which brings a good 25,000 to 30,000 individuals to campus each year just to see that architecture. And love hearing these quick, fast facts about us. You're going to hear more about our individual schools here, and you can actually see a little bit of where we're located in the state of Florida as well. And that's what we're going to talk about here today, is just some quick advantages of why should you look at transferring to schools here in the state of Florida. And want to open this up just to say there are lots of great reasons to transfer to our schools here in the state of Florida, and so many opportunities that are for you. And first and foremost, it's based on the fact that you're going to have a very, very high quality education. Our specific schools, as what we like to call private or independent schools in the state of Florida are among the nation's top performers. Our schools range in size, location, academic programs. We each have our own feel, but we really believe in giving students a high level of engagement with professors. Our schools have very few or no graduate students teaching classes, which really ensures you that you're being taught by experts in your field of study. Speaking of which, when you're going into your field of study, you're going to have that opportunity to do so in a smaller class size setting on our campuses, which allows you to really get to know your professors, allows them to get to know you. They will often end up being your mentor and be your friend, your champion in life, both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. And having these kinds of relationships with professors can really open the door to tons of opportunities to conduct research on campus. Many students often end up receiving stipends to continue their work as well, whether that during the year or over summer semesters. With the help of professors, students from all of our schools have had their work published in peer-reviewed journal articles and journals, opportunities to really kind of get that recognition for the work that you're doing as a transfer student. Which is one of the biggest accomplishments and achievements academically that you can have as an undergraduate student. We really take pride that our schools also provide an education with a very global focus. In fact, we encourage our students to embrace diversity, both on campus and off campus, through international connections, extensive travel opportunities that each of our schools is going to share a little bit more about a little bit later on when we talk about our individual schools as well. Something else that I really like to mention when you're looking as a transfer student is that you're oftentimes looking at academic opportunities. What is the school going to offer for you? And studying at our schools means that you're going to have easy access to Florida's variety of rich and diverse industries for professional experience, critical for any major that you might be interested in. In fact, Florida is ranked 5th in the nation for high-tech employment. It's also home to 15 different Fortune 500 companies. So our students are able to pursue internships and career opportunities in fields such as aerospace and aviation, financial and health professional services, from biological science research to education, to health professions like physical therapy, to computer science. There really is something for everyone at our schools to study and have the opportunity to experience in a true career-oriented setting. Our high-quality academics and internship opportunities work together to prepare you for what comes after graduation, whether that's landing your dream job or getting accepted into a graduate or professional school that you'd always hope to go into. You're going to find these opportunities among many of our most in-demand degrees at our institutions that are afforded to you as a transfer student.
So joining me today with the independent universities in Florida, we're very pleased to share with you that 92% of our graduates are either working, serving in the military, or have decided to continue on for their graduate degree within 1 year of graduating. So it's a real testament to back to those outcomes and getting a job. It's all about what is the end game here. So we're very proud of being successful, and it shows that our students are coming out with those skills that are highly employable. We also realize that it's important that your education is affordable. And we're constantly looking for new scholarship opportunities, grants, and financial aid opportunities that will help our students and our family ensure that their education is affordable. Last year, we're pleased to share with you that we gave out over $150 million in scholarships, grants awarded to our students. So it's a continual process, and we know it's important to you and your families. I'll turn it over to Robin.
Excuse me. So there are definitely advantages to studying in the state of Florida. Location has a lot to do with it. We have a great climate. I mean, just every day, there's just a lot of opportunity. You don't always have your class in the actual classroom. Sometimes it's on the lawn or in the quad. You know, if the day is nice enough and it's not too humid out, that's just one of the other things that makes our types of universities unique, is that there's no cookie cutter anything for your education. You really do truly get a personalized quality education. The different sizes and different campus feels are completely different. And so, you know, one of the big things is visiting each campus and say, I can see myself living, studying, working, playing in this environment, because that's, you know, finding the right fit for you is definitely what's key. When it comes to transferring your credits, those will be applicable as long as they come from a regionally accredited institution. Because again, how the process works, you'll know all of your transfer credit options before we ask you for a commitment. And you'll be able to look at the course catalog, look at your transfer credit evaluation. I know Joe has a picture of their TCE later on in his slide. Ours looks exactly the same way. I imagine Lynn's is pretty similar. So we give you that information so that you can make the best decision for your educational future with what you want to do. And like we've talked about for employment, again, because of the way our universities are set up, there's a ton of opportunities for internships and co-ops. You know, a lot of those can lead to jobs after you graduate. We will give you the resources, we will give you the skills to be really, you know, in demand when it comes to your education and what that leads to after you graduate. But so we've talked about a lot of the big differences about why a private university in the state of Florida is a benefit. And now I think we're turning it over to Joe for some more about his school.
Thanks so much, Robin. And I think this is just a great indicator for students if you're looking at Florida, some of the opportunities that are there. And I'd love for you to get to know a little bit more about each one of our schools as well and how that transfer process looks in each one of our individual schools. So beginning with Florida Southern College, I mentioned Florida Southern College located in beautiful Lakeland, Florida. We are halfway in between Orlando and Tampa. So in the center of the state in what we call the I-4 corridor, about 30 minutes away from Walt Disney World, 30 minutes to downtown Tampa. And annually, we have just over 150 students that will choose to transfer to Florida Southern College. And that makes up about 14% of our total student body at Florida Southern each year. We're very proud of that, is because many of our transfer students are looking for the opportunities to get engaged, to get involved, to be involved in our community of over 3,000 total students, with just over 2,500 undergraduates. And then we also have just over 600 graduate students at Florida Southern. So something to think about if maybe you're looking to continue on with your education. A big perk for Florida Southern College is that we will accept up to 93 transferable college credits from an incoming transfer student. 62 of those can come from a community college, and then you can bring in up to 93 with a combination of a community college, a state college, or a university as well. We have been around for a long time, founded in 1883, one of Florida's oldest private schools that's here. So a great tradition and history of having transfer students enroll at Florida Southern College in our over 70 different academic programs of study. I love to highlight some of the programs that are the most popular ones for our transfer students here at Florida Southern include programs like exercise science or sports medicine, as you may hear it called, where students are getting the opportunity to work on hands-on research opportunities, or maybe it's getting the opportunity to work in the laboratory setting and working with state-of-the-art equipment. Maybe your goal is to go off to a doctorate in physical therapy, which we offer here at Florida Southern as well in an accelerated format, a 2.5-year doctorate of physical therapy after coming in Florida Southern and graduating with your bachelor's degree. Maybe you're interested in doing science research. Many of our transfer students are looking at opportunities in health professions. And that could be things such as starting in biology or chemistry, and then going off to a graduate medical school program like Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, which actually saves seats specifically for Florida Southern College students as part of our direct entry program option with them. Or maybe you're a student that's really interested in psychology on the behavioral side, or maybe you're really interested in art or music in the fine arts here at Florida Southern, especially music education at Florida Southern College is a terrific program. Each one of these tend to be very popular majors for our transfer students, not the only programs that students will go into, as we have over 70 different options. Included in that is we have 16 different pre-professional tracks. These include things such as pre-veterinary medicine, where students are now going off to graduate veterinary medical programs like at the University of Tennessee, or going off to Auburn University after getting engaged learning experiences on our campus. Or maybe it's a student that's interested in medicine or marine biology and getting the opportunity to work in shark biology specifically. Or maybe you're really interested in conservation and ecology efforts. All of those are hands-on experiences at Florida Southern. Speaking of hands-on opportunities, we talk about internships and the advantages, and we guarantee internships to all of our students, regardless of the major, and we know how important this is. Whether it be a student like an Annabelle Rosenthal coming in with her associate's degree and actually working then within our art history and conservation program, specifically working on curation at the Polk Museum of Art here locally, or a student like Joey Ortega desperately and loved the opportunity to work for Walt Disney World. He was originally from Los Angeles, California, that joined the Florida Southern College community, graduated in 3 years' time from Florida Southern, had the opportunity to work at Disneyland in California and also at the Walt Disney World Resort, now actually working as a customer service management specialist after graduation. These are all the experiences that we want students to have because we believe it's going to lead to what we call outcomes. This is the opportunity to get into that dream graduate school, like an Annabelle Rosenthal, as I mentioned, going off to graduate school, or maybe it's a student that's here like Tatiana Ship that wanted to work in the Polk County schools after using her dance degree from Florida Southern College, or a student like Reams Landreth who came in with a large number of college credits and now is working for WMAZ in Macon, Georgia as a photojournalist and specifically a producer for the television stations that are there. Every student that comes into Florida Southern College, our goal is to provide that next step. Our outcome rate as a whole is 97% of students working either in the public workforce. About 2/3 of our students get a job within a year after graduation. 1/3 of our students going off to graduate school at some of the places that are mentioned here. I also love to mention that each year, about 10 to 15% of our incoming transfer students are student athletes. Florida Southern College participates, much like Florida Institute of Technology and Lynn University, in the Sunshine State Conference, often ranked as the top academic and athletic conference for NCAA Division II athletics in America. Love to mention that Florida Southern College has 20 different varsity programs at the NCAA Division II level, have won 30 national championships. Our men's basketball program, baseball, soccer, lacrosse, cross country and track, volleyball, some of our most popular sports here at Florida Southern. We even have some unique opportunities such as water skiing, equestrian, a very cool sport, and ice hockey that we also share with Florida Tech and Lynn here too. And then we've grown in our esports program, including our transfer student population, as we are part of the Peach Belt Conference as part of NACE, even offering scholarships for our transfer students coming into Florida Southern for our esports program. So this kind of builds the community at Florida Southern. As a transfer student, we want you to find a home here. We guarantee housing at Florida Southern College for our transfer students. We have all the comforts of home that you'd be used to with dining options, 100 different organizations to get involved in, from multicultural opportunities like our Black Student Union to our Allies Club to students involved in campus ministries, you name it, you're gonna find it as an opportunity and a home here at Florida Southern. Speaking of finding Florida Southern as a home, we accept applications on a rolling admissions basis at Florida Southern. It is free to apply. We do not charge an application fee as a transfer student, and we accept students to apply as a transfer student for the fall semester and the spring semester. You can apply through our application or through the Common Application Transfer application or the Coalition Transfer application. I sometimes recommend our online application because I like to call it a fast app. It allows us to get to know you as a student, has the most important information there, and allows you then to take that next step. If you're looking to apply to Florida Southern, our deadline for the spring semester, always December the 1st as a transfer student, and always June 1st as a student looking at the fall semester. Yes, we are already accepting applications for admission for fall 2021 as a transfer student. When you apply, what we're going to need from you is your official college transcripts from all schools that you've attended previously. And this is applicable really for any school that you might be looking at here. We want to make sure that you know how to send your transcripts. You're usually going to do that through your registrar office at your previous schools you've attended, or maybe you have a student portal to go ahead and request those transcripts to be sent to Florida Southern College or any of our schools here too. As Robin mentioned, when you send in your transcripts to Florida Southern College, what you're going to receive is a transfer credit evaluation, or a TCE, and it looks something like this. We'll let you know exactly course for course how your credits are going to transfer to Florida Southern. We even do a pre-admission evaluation. If you just want to know, hey, I'm taking these classes, how are they going to count? Check that out on our website, just flsouthern.edu/transfer. Speaking of checking out our website, and that's where you can apply for admission. You can submit your transcripts, and within about 2 to 4 weeks of applying to Florida Southern College, you'll get an admission decision. There's some information here about some averages of a student coming into Florida Southern. An average GPA that a student comes in with as a transfer student, usually between a 2.8 and 3.75, but our scholarships at Florida Southern start at a 2.5 GPA. We're transparent. And what we offer in our transfer scholarships is they range anywhere between $7,000 and $18,500 per year based on your college GPA. And we do also offer Phi Theta Kappa scholarships for students in PTK. We, in addition to that, are really excited to announce that we are now offering scholarships through Raise Me as well. So if you're part of Raise Me transfer scholarships, we are now also offering transfer scholarships through Raise Me, and our PTK scholarships, our merit scholarships, any federal or state-based aid can all stack to make up a financial aid award. We're so proud of the fact that the average financial aid package for a student, almost $35,000 a year at Florida Southern College, covering about 90% of our tuition and fees costs at Florida Southern. I'd share a little bit about Florida Southern College. I'd like to hand it off at this point in time. Florida Tech.
All right. Florida Tech is located in Melbourne, Florida, so we are on the Space Coast. It's easy to see a rocket launch from campus. You don't have to go anywhere special. You just have to step out to the parking lot. We were actually founded as Kennedy Space Center was being built by NASA because there was nowhere for the workers in that industry to get their graduate degrees. And then later we expanded to undergraduate programs, and we have doctoral degrees as well. So there's quite a variety of different majors on campus, and we have students that represent all 50 states, 110 countries. We're a very diverse campus when it comes to getting to know different people. And we are about 3,500 undergraduate students and about 2,000 grad students. So it's not a completely gigantic campus, but it's not so teeny tiny that everybody knows your business before you even leave the lunchroom if you fall and trip. So that's one of the neat things about campus. All right, here are the 4 different colleges that we have: aeronautics, business, engineering, and science, as well as psychology and liberal arts. What you'll see is that we are a Tier 1 national doctoral granting research university. And we're actually, number 3 has changed to number 206 now. So we're not in the top 200, but we are the second highest ranked national private university in Florida. So that's just one more thing that adds to the weight that a Florida Tech degree gives you. All right, we do, as with all the schools, I think that we're going to be talking about, co-ops and internships are definitely a big part of what our students do as they're going through their program, because everything is major specific right away. Walking in the door exactly what you're going to get. You have a ton of different opportunities. You can get paid while you're doing your education, while you're getting experience, which just turns that around and makes you more employable. If you are interested in a fast track master's program, those are options. So you can get your bachelor's and master's in 5 years in any of those degree programs. If you're looking the business track, there's 3, 4, and 5-year options. So again, it's a really nice opportunity that you can customize your education to what you want to do and where you see yourself going long term. All right, some of what you'll see here is what our students do. They're required to do a student design project, which starts in their junior year, but they have the opportunity to start one in their freshman year and complete in their sophomore year, and then turn around and do another one junior into senior year. When you pick your project. It's what you want to do. It's not a cookie cutter program. Nobody says, okay, you're ocean engineer and you have to build this unmanned underwater roving machine. You might say, okay, I saw this other one, but I think I can tweak it a little bit. You have that power. You will work with professors as well as your fellow students to come up with these projects. And like with this, you can see the research posters in the background. That's what our science students do. It's not uncommon for our science students to be published in an academic journal before they graduate with their bachelor's degree, because they work alongside graduate students and professors. Every time a professor gets published, that student gets published as well. All right, so a little bit about campus life, because as much as academics do hold a lot of weight on campus, there's time for fun stuff too. We have a variety of athletics. Like we've said, we are Division II, but civic engagement is one of the really big pushes on campus these days for our students, as well as our faculty and staff, to get involved, to volunteer, to do what they can to really make a positive impact. There are honor and academic clubs and organizations for every major on campus. We do have fraternities and sororities. Intramural sports are popular as well. If you just want to do something for fun, or if you've always wanted to learn how to surf and you don't know, you can join the surf club or the sailing team. There's a good, really involved student government on campus as well, because this is your campus. You have the power to make those decisions and oftentimes make those changes. And if you get here and there's not a particular club that you're looking for, it's really, really easy to start your own. All right, the application itself, like we've talked about, we have our own application. We're also on the Common App. I believe that our application is probably about the quickest and easiest, but either one of those that you choose to do, that's up to you. You do need to submit an official or an unofficial transcript from each institution that you attend. That is for the initial review process. Later on, we'll request an official, but while you're making that decision, you don't have to drop those couple of bucks every time you apply for a new school or need a new transcript. If you have fewer than 24 credit hours, we do need high school transcripts and SAT or ACT. Otherwise, we just need your proof of high school graduation or your GED. For international students, there's a variety of English proficiency required, and that information is on our website. You receive a decision very quickly. We're on rolling admission. There are no deadlines or caps with programs or scholarships. So there's just a lot of variety, and it's an easy way to go through the process and make your decision. After you have been admitted, here's some of the quick things that you'll do. We'll send you a link. You activate that. That's kind of what opens the portal to everything. And immediately your transfer credit evaluation starts. So you'll have that usually within about 2 or 3 weeks as well. And we always want you to update your FAFSA so that you know what you're getting at as far as your full financial aid package. You can visit campus. We are open for visitors right now, but we also have virtual visits, virtual student panels. You can meet with financial aid. You can take a virtual tour of campus. I mean, you know, we've really adjusted in these past couple of crazy months to how you can get to know campus. And here's a variety of the different departments on campus that are going to be critical to you as you go throughout this process. All right, so 95% placement rate for our students. Like I've talked about, we are on the Space Coast, so naturally, engineering, sciences, anybody who's really focused on technology, you have a lot of options literally right in our backyard. Microsoft recruits to 5 colleges on the East Coast, and we're one of them. This is just a little bit of where our students go. So there's, of course, no limit to where you can go. Here's our financial aid snapshot. Like we've talked about, we're all pretty similar in kind of what we're looking at, but 94% of our students do receive scholarships and grants. 60% receive need-based aid, and that's largely because as low as that because we have a lot of international students who don't qualify for need-based aid. But for last year, the average package was just under $34,000. So there's definitely a lot of support for students. And there's a variety of different ways that our students do get scholarships. We give transfer scholarships for students starting at a 2.8 GPA, and there's a variety of grants. We do give an unlimited number of Phi Theta Kappa scholarships. So like I said, when I said there's no caps, there's no limits on things, that's what that, if you're a member of Phi Theta Kappa, you're gonna get that financial reward regardless of how many other Phi Theta Kappa students are coming in. If you have done a prepaid college plan in the Carolinas or wherever else, that will absolutely be accepted. If you are looking at athletics, that's up to the individual coaches and what they decide to do. Same thing for Army ROTC. If you qualify for post 9/11 GI Bill, we have a specific office for that, and we are a yellow ribbon participating institution. And then, of course, by filing the FAFSA, that's how you'll qualify for any federal grants and self-help programs.
Okay, let's talk about Boca. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the Boca area, we are about 1 hour north of Miami, 30 minutes from Fort Lauderdale. And I think a lot of people think of Florida possibly as a vacation destination, or maybe I'm going to go to Boca and visit my grandparents or my aunt and uncle. But actually, Boca is full of students. There's over 40,000 university students in Boca Raton. So there's actually a young population, a lot to do. We're just 3 miles from the beautiful beaches. We also have 3 international airports in our area between Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. So we're very accessible. And also the surrounding areas are also some of the fastest growing metro areas in the United States. So there's lots to do. We're also ranked as the #1 most international students of the regional southern universities. So Lynn University is focused on providing an innovative, personalized, and global education. The photo that you're looking at there is actually the front of our building, and each of those flags represent an international student that's attending the university. So we are represented right now by 97 different nations, 47 states, and we do have small classes, which really makes it a unique, I think, dynamic and a conversation in the classroom because we're so diverse. You're able to, hear from different cultures, different backgrounds, different perspectives on things. Our small classes, we do have a faculty ratio of 18:1, but I think you'll also find some of the classes are even a little bit smaller than that, maybe more around 10 to 15. So the small classes really allow you to get to know your faculty and your professors, and we encourage you to help them navigate, let them help you navigate throughout your educational process. It's interesting, in the admissions office, we actually are very represented by our student population in the admissions office. About half of our admission counselors attended Lynn. So we have people in our office from El Salvador and Zimbabwe and Scotland, Argentina, and little old me from the Midwest in Chicago. But it's a great group of people and a great place to be. So innovation, Lynn is a very forward-thinking institution. We pride ourselves on being adaptable and flexible to the changing student generations and dynamics. And one of the ways we do that is through our iPad-powered learning program. Lynn is, every student that attends Lynn receives an iPad when they come to school. We have been recognized for the last 4 years by Apple as a distinguished school for innovation, leadership, and excellence for our technology use in the classroom. So all the students, when you receive your iPad, there's over 50 customized iBooks and materials uploaded for you. And not only does that save you the cost of traditional textbooks, over 90% cost savings, but the books are customized, most of them by our faculty. So the content is very relevant to the class. And it's also, they're designed to be very interactive, very engaging. So it's a wonderful learning environment and tool for our students to enhance their education. Okay, so there you can see all of the different programs that we offer, and you can go to our website and delve in a little bit deeper into each one of those programs. I'm going to touch on the 6 colleges very briefly that we do have. In the College of Business, we're very fortunate in the South Florida area to have over 1,500 multicultural corporations, corporate headquarters here. So it helps provide, as we've all been talking about, great internship opportunities for our students, job opportunities. In our arts and science colleges, we've got a great internship program where students can go up to Washington, D.C., work with senators and congressmen. In our College of Communication and Design, we've had graduates that have worked on the Avengers Endgame in film, which is pretty cool. In our College of Education, we have 100% placement in those programs. And if you are accepted into the Conservatory of Music, your tuition is 100% paid for. And of course, in our aeronautics program, you're able to receive all 3 licenses if you choose your private pilot license, your instrument ratings, and your commercial ratings. Okay, another unique thing for Lynn would be our dialogues, which is our nationally recognized core curriculum. And Lynn is a liberal arts-based college, but the dialogues really are designed to be more applicable, or maybe I would say more practical in nature, using those liberal concepts. Often in universities, you'll take your math, maybe your English, your social sciences, your public speaking. At Lynn, our students take 4 courses in each one of these core sectors. And they really were designed from our faculty. They sort of uprooted the whole curriculum about 10 years ago when they were receiving information from employers, survey after survey, that students really didn't have the essential skills. Some people call them soft skills and needed to be truly effective in the workplace. These are skills like thinking critically, communicating effectively, solving problems. So they really thought it was important to pepper these skills throughout their entire program so that when they leave, they're fully prepared to be engaged and be successful in the workplace. So the dialogue is a very unique piece for us. Another example of that might be, let's say you're in our graphic design program, more of an art-based program. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense for you to take a calculus class if you're not really going to use calculus when you graduate. So in that case, you might take a personal finance class where you're learning how to, should I rent, should I own, should I buy, should I lease, and more practical applications. If you're in our business program, you might take a statistics class or a statistics methods class that would be more practical for you. Recently in our justice and civic life, our arts and sciences students are taking a Black Lives Matters class. So they're constantly, creating things that are really relevant for today. Okay, how to apply? We also do have the Common App, or you can go directly to our website. And I have to say, I think going to our website is a little bit quicker too, but either is perfectly fine. Along with your application, you'll be submitting an essay where just tell us why you want to transfer to Lynn, trying to get to know you a little bit better. A deemed student's recommendation form, which is basically just a 1-page form that says you left your previous institution in good standing. And of course, your college transcripts, much like the other colleges, we need them from each college or university that you've attended. We do have a spring session. The deadline to apply would be December 1st. And our fall session, the deadline is July 1st. Okay, and I couldn't wrap up my Lynn presentation without talking about our athletic programs and our Fighting Knights. We have earned 25 national championships, which we're very proud of, our athletes. They play a big part of the campus experience here at Lynn. The student interaction, you'll see a sea of blue shirts at the basketball games and the soccer games. So there's a lot of school spirit, and they really add a lot to our campus. And of course, there on the side, please follow us on social media. If you have any questions that you're going to be sending into the panel, now would be a good time to send those in if you haven't already. And thank you so much for being with us today.
As Wendy had mentioned there, I think this is a great opportunity to go ahead and ask some of the questions that you may have. One of the questions I've already seen kind of pop up that's on here is talking a little bit about time to degree. And some of the accelerated programs that we kind of offer. Maybe one of the things that we can address for each one of our schools is how are students able to still do some of these accelerated programs that each one of us kind of mentioned a little bit about or showed on our screens as a transfer student?
I can start with first on that, if that's all right. With us, really, it just depends on what you've already done as far as your credits. But again, we're very transparent with that. We'll sit down and work through your degree program, make sure that you're going to be taking the right classes in the right order. And if we need to extra fast track it a little bit and have you do summer classes or something like that, you'll work directly with your academic advisor from the minute you get onto campus to orchestrate that.
Very similar here at Lynn as well. It really depends on how many credits you're already bringing in. But basically, you're taking an extra class each semester, an extra class over the summer, and you would want to start working with your academic advisor right away to see if that would be an option for you.
And I can echo very similarly for Florida Southern here as well. It depends on how many college credits you're coming in with, the courses that you previously taken. We offer accelerated options for students in business and education. Likewise, very excited that starting next year we'll also have a brand new master's degree in interpersonal organizational psychology at Florida Southern that will likewise be an accelerated option. For our transfer students, we try to make those, especially if you're coming in with an associate's degree and a degree, we're trying to make that almost like a 2-3 path. So you're having the opportunity to do 2 years of your credit you completed, and then you're doing essentially your bachelor's and master's degree. I sometimes like to say almost at the same time, where you're taking some of those master's level courses and applying it towards your undergraduate degree as well. So taking advantage of those opportunities, taking advantage of all the scholarships and grants that you're earning and maybe applying that towards a master's course or two is a big plus. Another question that I saw kind of pop in here was a little bit about applicability and transferability of credit. I think that was mentioned, and there's almost kind of parallel words when we talk about applicability and transferability. Do each one of us kind of want to touch on that, what that means for our schools, not only that we're transfer credit friendly, but the credits apply?
Well, for us, we welcome the opportunity to work with students as they're going through their community college or through their other programs, so that I can make sure that you're taking the right calculus class, the right physics class, so that you're not wasting your time elsewhere. You really are taking classes that will apply to your degree program. Because we're so specific, most of our majors only have one elective. So there's oftentimes, if you haven't been working with us, or if you've just kind of been floating about, there are classes that don't fit into your degree program, but we will still use those as best we can. Or say, okay, if you take one more humanities class or psychology class, you've got yourself a minor. So really doing everything that we can to utilize those credits, but also to help prevent you from taking classes that you don't need.
Very similar at Lynn as well. We welcome the chance to work with you while you're at community college to help you, track your classes as best as possible. We do have a system online called TES, Transfer Evaluation System, that you can go to. Majority of the colleges on there. If you've applied to Lynn at some point, we've done an evaluation for a student, that college will be listed there with the classes. The thing I would just say about that is that just because the class isn't up on there doesn't mean it doesn't transfer. It just means no one has tried to transfer that class yet. So just don't get confused when you don't see maybe all the classes up there. But that's one resource. But I'm also, we're small enough that we can work with you one-on-one. If you reach out and just say, I'm tracking this way, what do I need to take? I like to talk about buckets when I talk about transfer credits, because when you transfer in, they're more than likely going to transfer in. It's just what bucket does it go into? Does it go into your program bucket? Does it go into your elective bucket? So that's sort of where we have to look and see how it all is going to play out.
I love that. Just kind of the visualization of the buckets of how if you walk around the house, if you have little ones, you have Legos around the house that's there, and you're picking up the Legos and which one do they go into, which bucket that's there. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like the pieces have to kind of fit together. That's there. What an analogy that you just came up with, Wendy, that it kind of made you think of this there, of your Lego pieces kind of have to fit together, and the same thing, they kind of fit into a specific bucket. Florida Southern's the same way. We want to see what you've taken for your classes. We're very open to that conversation early on in the process. Love when students reach out and are already saying, hey, I'm in my first year, I'm going to look to transfer to Florida Southern at a later point in time. What do you recommend that I take for some courses if I'm on this kind of degree path that's there? Even just kind of get some of the basics that's there. We don't have a whole lot of majors that have very, very specific curriculums at Florida Southern. I can say that's a blessing for us. Our computer science and cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, maybe a couple of those programs, but things such as psychology or criminology, education, we want to make sure that students are fulfilling kind of those general education core requirements. If your AA is getting completed during your college time frame, we're going to honor that Associate of Arts degree and really going to fulfill that to fulfill most of our gen ed requirements as well. So I hope that gives an answer to that question that was out there as well. I think that we had gotten a chance to answer some of the questions that we had here. If there are any others that pop into the Q&A, we would love the opportunity to answer those. And we really want the opportunity to connect further with transfer students. We can't echo that enough. In the opportunity to work with you, each one of our schools has visit opportunities. We'd love for you to get a chance to visit us now. I can just share for us at Florida Southern, I think it was mentioned, we are open for tours on campus now for transfer students or virtually, whatever you're more comfortable with. If you'd like to do a virtual tour, participate in our virtual open house programs or academic webinars, we call those mock talks. Check out our transfer page. We have a plethora of opportunities, and I'll let everybody else kind of share as well about their opportunities too.
We're the same.
Yep, it's, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It is very similar for us. And if you reach out to us and say, hey, I'm really interested in astrobiology or aviation, whatever it is, we have a very good group of student assistants who will happily answer your questions. Our Instagram page is full of information about what our students are doing, especially in this weird time of COVID. But yeah, if you have questions, just reach out to us. That's what we're here for. It's what we do. We want to do everything that we can to help you.
And I'll piggyback on that. Check us out on social media. We have student ambassadors that will talk to you about just about anything you want to. We are open for on-campus tours, virtual tours. We have a plethora of online programming, virtual programming on every single college, student development, all of our support services, student financial services. You just go to our website, lynn.edu/visit. You'll see the whole calendar for that.
We thank everyone so much for getting a chance to visit us and participate in our session here today. There you go. And it's there. It's a great question that kind of popped into. So thanks so much. And I think our contact information there was shared in the last slide. And again, thanks again for joining today.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you all. Special thanks to the panelists. I really appreciate you all being here today to share your information. And you know what? I do see one more question popped up for Florida Tech. I just want to share with the students, when you close this window, you will get a quick survey. So we'd appreciate if you give us some feedback. And again, this is just one of many sessions being hosted today. So please sign up for more. This recording will be available within a week of today's session. And you can find that recording at www.cacrao.org. And I think the question was, and this will also be shared with the presenters, students interested in meteorology at Florida Tech. And so what we'll do is we'll send those questions to Florida Tech, and someone from their transfer admissions office will get back to you. So thank you, Shamar, for asking that question. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic afternoon. I appreciate you. And Shamar will get you that information.
All right, perfect.
Bye-bye.